Hey everybody, Jay here with Wise Hire. Look, today topic is the ideal buyer's agent profile. So what we're finding out there statistically in the country is there's actually two different types. We'll call them the hunter and the helper. It's a term that's just synonymously used as buyer's agent for somebody that's not necessarily a listing agent in a team or is specialized, not a generic realtor. The problem has been that it depends on how you run your shop. If your team expects that buyer's agent to have majority of their leads sourced by them and hunted down, then you're looking more for a hunter, which very much actually looks like a listing agent. That's on a behavioral sense from the DISC model with Marston up at Harvard. You're looking at like a high DI with a low SC. So dominant, aggressive, assertive, competitive. That's a problem with a buyer's agent because by definition, the buyer's agent tends to work with buyers, and that requires much more patience. The low S and C of the typical hunter-gatherer doesn't do well with that. If you check out here on the site a book that we've written up called Hidden, and you'll see in there in the back that we looked at the tasks of the job. About 68% of them are more aligned with an S and a C behavioral set. They're detail-oriented. They're, yes, I'd be glad to show you your 35th house, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Patient, stable, slower paced, methodical. You know, they act a little bit more like an administrative assistant. But that's a problem if you have the buyer's agent set up where you're only giving them a few leads and you're expecting them to do like 80% of it themselves. If you're in a shop with an ISA, an inside sales agent, or you've got a team leader, a mega agent who's pouring in plenty of well-qualified leads, and that buyer's agent is really just tasked with taking the pre-qualified, very hot leads and possibly some closing aspects of a sales and mentality. But other than that, servicing the buyers through all the way to close, then you're looking at more of the helper buyer's agent profile. There, our benchmark's going to look more like a SC is going to come up. It's an IS for the most part. So D is still in that 40 to 50 range, not nearly as decisive, aggressive. Their attitude isn't nearly as demonstrative. They're a little more patient. The I goes up into that 75 range because they have to be very social, very personable, gregarious, outgoing. S also comes up, though. This is one of the bigger differences between that and that typical hunter-gatherer. The S comes up from the 20-30 range that you'd find in most outside sales hunters into more of that 65-70 range because they have to bring with them that patience, that ability to deal longer term with many houses and all of the details that come along with it. And the C comes up, not nearly as much as the S, but the C ends up being somewhere closer to, normally we've seen it be in the range of around a 50, can be anywhere from like a 40 to a 50 type of thing. So still a little low, nowhere near like a transaction coordinator or an administrative assistant. But there's your task. Ask yourself, if I'm looking for buyer's agents on the team, first look at the environment and the culture they're going to be put into and expecting to perform in. Are you handing them tons of qualified hot leads and they're good to go and they just need to service them? There you're looking for that helper buyer agent profile. Are you calling them buyer's agents, but it's only because they work in your team and they're almost independent completely and you still give them a few leads, but you want them to go get the majority of them? And you're really looking for somebody much like yourself. If you're the team leader watching this, they're going to need to be a more aggressive hunter-gatherer type of outside profile.